You are watching the Fuel Your Freaky podcast. I wish we had some kind of jingle or something to start this thing out.
Yeah, maybe we need maybe we should do like the AOL sign in.
No, welcome you got mail. That's copywritten, or even though the AOL Instant Messenger service was discontinued, I'm pretty sure we could get sued for that.
Isn't there like or like the Windows, something like old at
Every podcast has some kind of intro music or a jingle or some kind of startup. That's priority. That's something you got to do. That's your department.
I don't like those long startups when you open an app and it's like the logo like dances around and then
No,
like
no, we're not going to do a long one. I mean, when you watch all these podcasts, they have a pretty quick intro, most of them.
so we're talking about intro, so the intro is about the intro.
Intro, yes. No, this podcast is not about intros. It's,
We
it's a,
should discuss the intros of all the podcasts.
no, no, that would be boring. I'm not even concerned about the viewer at this point. I'm concerned for myself. I feel like I'd be extremely bored talking about it, and I wouldn't want to talk about it.
Did it? Did
What I
it?
do want to talk about, and I think we're a little late to the party, but it's okay. I want to talk about Black Mirror, season 6 on Netflix. What did you think overall of season 6?
It started off decent. I don't want to give any spoilers,
No,
but
you know what? Spoiler alert. There are spoilers. I'm gonna put that there's spoilers. Spoil away, baby. This is a spoiler. Yeah.
so yeah, it's the first episode was pretty good, I think, and it was scary because that's exactly what Hollywood wants to do right now with like taking the identity of someone and like creating a live movie as they go. Um, but the rest of the episodes weren't Black Mirror esque at all. They weren't about technology. They were just like weird, creepy. It kind of gave me like American Horror Story vibes.
Yeah. All right. So basically, we are huge Black Mirror fans, and the first episode of season 1 aside, that episode was decent. All the other episodes were phenomenal, right? And yeah, look, there are some that I really love. There are some that I think that are just okay. But what I really loved about the show, it was a Twilight Zone, but it's actual most of the time a reality. Some of the episodes show things that, and of course, the show came out a few years ago, right? So some of the episodes showed things that could happen in the future, and they did come true. Some of them haven't come true yet, but we know it's coming. And then there were one of my favorite episodes was 15 or 8 million or 15 million merits. Okay, that was season 1, episode 2. I love the symbolism. I love the metaphors. I thought the episode was fantastic. A lot of these episodes we watched were like, whoa, like this is crazy because some of this is happening, or some of this will definitely happen, right? One of the scariest episodes were, well, two of them. Number one, it was like a borderline ripoff of the Terminator. Do you remember that episode where there was like these mechanical dogs and they were like assassinating people? And I
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you remember that?
yeah.
So
That was crazy.
why I think that's scary is because forget about the mechanical dogs, there's drones. They can send out drones to assassinate anybody they want. And when I say they, it's anyone, right? And they had an episode like that with mechanical bees also. Like we had a bee issue, we have a bee problem. They're saying that if the bees disappear, the humans disappear. So this episode showed these artificial mechanical bees, but then they show somebody hacking the bees and sending them to kill people
Yeah, I just got the greatest idea ever.
for a Black Mirror episode.
No, for
Oh,
real
okay.
life using drones.
Okay.
drones that'll pick up your garbage in New York and other big cities.
Oh,
Boom.
well, that would be weird. No, that's too messy. There's gonna be way too many
No,
drones all over the place. Are you
no,
kidding
you
me?
don't have to wait once a week like we do now. A building puts their garbage out in the front, like or a restaurant, and like every other day they come at a certain time, zoot, pick it up, and then just like toss it somewhere.
Uh, I don't think so. What do you guys think? Anyway, so the other Black Mirror episode that really scared me was there was soldiers and they had to kill these roaches, right? These roaches were like monster zombies, and they had to kill them. And when one of the soldiers killed a few of them, he was, it's just like in the military, they get analyzed by a professional after, and the professional asked them, "How do you feel about it?" And he says that he felt fine because it was a monster. He killed him, and that's it. He sleeps well at night, whatever. And what's crazy is that he had like a dream in the episode. This is like sidetracking a little bit, but he had like a dream, and he's using his hand motions to like manipulate what's going on in the dream. And they have contact lenses that they're wearing that they could see things, right? And and what's scary about it is like the Apple product, those goggles that they're releasing. In a way, it's very similar. And when you look at the hand gestures of the people in the commercial, they're doing exactly like the guy in Black Mirror, and they could see things. And this is just the beginning. But that's not what was scary. What was scary about the episode was the so-called roaches dismantled his contact lenses or whatever, and then he saw them as real people. They were real people. So when you look at every genocide that ever existed, right? Yeah, a lot of those people were monsters and they killed the innocent people. But I'm sure deep down, some of them had remorse and maybe they'd let some of them run away, whatever it was. They felt guilty, whatever it was. But now, with this technology, they see them as monsters. They'll have no remorse. They'll just kill them if they have to. Whoever gets a hold of, if the wrong people get a hold of this, like
Yeah.
that's terrifying.
And I think that was also symbolism for like brainwashing and manipulation. And soon with this kind of technology, which I'm not surprised if it already exists, like the mechanical dogs already exist. There's a company called Boston Dynamics that build those. They're testing it in New York. They're testing it in other cities. You could actually see them sometimes like walking around with people controlling them. And they're already here. They're gonna be used in the military. They're gonna be used for other resources and things like that. But yeah, as far as that like goggles thing, that's already happening. Like, we're gonna have those smart cars soon. What?
I don't know. I'm listening to
Oh,
you. Yeah.
we're gonna have those smart cars soon. Like, like your Tesla locks you in, let's say, or
Oh
whatever
yeah, I
other
hate that.
smart car. Oh, you didn't pay a parking ticket. Off to the police precinct you go. Or like, if you didn't, I don't know if they're like after you for whatever reason, your car's locked out and you can't get in, or
Yeah.
they'll steer you into like jail or something. It's been
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous because some people just, what if they have like an emergency? They really have to get somewhere and they will take care of that parking ticket or whatever. And then they get sidetracked or their car will lock them out because they didn't pay their bill, but they have to go get the money to pay the bill. Like it's just ridiculous, I think. And having said all that, soon people are going to have robots that work in their homes as a maid, let's say, right? Or a butler, whatever. And people are afraid of artificial intelligence, of being, dangerous for the people, like if they just go out of whack or whatever. But that's not what they have to worry about. They have to worry about hackers. I mean, hackers have hacked people's security cameras in their homes and they spy on them and listen to them, and they let the people know that this is happening by trolling. I don't know why they do it as a troll, whatever it is. What if they hack these robots and like rob the house or try to kill the people in the house? Like, you know what I mean?
Or imagine there's domestic violence calls to the cops, and like the
Oh,
maid or the butler's like beating the crap out of like the homeowner and like making them work. It's like, why do you have a bruise in your eye? Oh, I just tripped. And like that's
well,
what we're gonna have to worry about now.
but
There's not gonna be there's not gonna have to be a real hacker. I think that the robot itself could just like go rogue and like pull some crazy stuff.
the on the flip side, the positive thing about having an artificial intelligence butler or maid is that if there is domestic violence, right? If the husband and the wife get at it or whatever, the butler or the nurse or the maid can snitch and call the cops, and like they won't even hear that it's happening, and then the cops just show up to the house.
No, but what if like you're living alone and you have one of these things and like that starts like, beating you up and like
Yeah,
harassing you?
really scary stuff. But having said all of that, let's get yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well, that's actually like I think Tesla is already has at least the one model out. I don't know if
The robot, right?
yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's for sale already to the public, but they definitely already like modeled it and showed it off. And there's other companies that you could actually see how like the robot jumps and like picks up heavy equipment. It's I think in the next 5 years we're definitely gonna have them in people's homes for sure.
So what again? What's really silly is that these developers from Google, right? All these whatever, the guy who invented ChatGPT, they're all saying, "Oh, AI is scary and it will be the end of," right? Like, didn't they say something like that?
Yeah, like Sam Altman, the guy who created ChatGPT, he keeps saying like he loses sleep at night because like it's gonna take over and it's gonna go like dark on us and take over, but yet they're creating them like the most powerful machines in a way. So it's like, why are they doing this? Why are they just trolling us?
So either a couple of things. Either A, they're just saying this on purpose to create hype or excitement. I don't know, or get people to talk about it. Right. So it's a ploy to do that. Or yeah, I just don't get it. It's like yeah, it probably will destroy the human race, but I just have to do it. I just have to do it. Right. Like I just have this calling to do it. I don't know. But either way,
Well, there's two types of AI. There's I forgot the name. I should probably look it up, but there's an AI that could actually learn and become like self-manageable, where it doesn't need to it doesn't have like an off switch. I forgot what it's called, but maybe I could look it up real quick. But I don't think we're and I supposedly we're not there yet in terms of that kind of technology. But this generative AI where it actually learns as it goes and it gets smarter and smarter, that in itself is a problem because I mean, but it's like everything else. Like, we when we first had cars, weren't people worried that they might get run over or crash into things, or airplanes? Oh, it's gonna like fall out of the sky and hit a building. So I think there needs to be like a balance and regulation and
well, there will be regulation, I guess. But one of speaking of artificial intelligence, I quickly wanted to mention because this was interesting. The music industry. The music industry is always being challenged. Okay. I remember in the 2000s when, or was it the late 90s, the 2000s, Napster came out, right? People started downloading illegal music for free and, bootleg CDs. I remember those days, and the music industry was suffering. And in fact, that reshaped everything about the music industry, right? Like artists had to start getting deals from record labels where where the record labels now wanted a piece of the money from their concerts, And now, because of Spotify and all those streaming services, which I think helped the music industry, right? I think it curbed people from stealing music to just using a very convenient app like Spotify, and I think they shut down all those LimeWire, Kazaa, Morpheus, all those apps that people used to download music from, Scour Exchange, and so now there's a new challenge, and that's AI music, right? This guy, I'm going to show you this clip right now. This guy, he basically writes a Kanye track, right? He raps the Kanye track, and then he has AI, and it sounds just like Kanye West. Check it out.
I wrote 8 bars and I'm gonna record them now, and then I'm gonna have AI Kanye replace me. I got a fantasy that's beautiful, that's dark and twisted, but I attacked the whole religion all because of my ignorance. What was I thinking? That was some bitch shit. I lost Adidas, but I'm still Yeezy. Back in the kitchen, man, I'm a genius. Boys in the hood, just like I'm easy. Kanye, Weezy, Southside of Chicago, life ain't easy. All praise be to Lord Jesus, Donda, please rest easy. All right, let me cut it there. So let's hear those vocals I just recorded now with Kanye over them.
I got a fantasy that's beautiful, that's dark and twisted, but I attacked the whole religion all because of my ignorance. What was I thinking? That was some bitch shit. I lost Adidas, but I'm still Yeezy. Back in the kitchen, man, I'm a genius. Boys in the hood, just like I'm easy. Kanye, Weezy, Southside of Chicago, life ain't easy. All praise be to Lord Jesus, Donda, please rest easy. All right, let me cut it there.
Yo, that new Yeezy track goes hard.
So what'd you think of that?
Honestly, that was better than a lot of his actual songs.
Well, a lot of his newer songs.
And
you know what? I was a big Kanye West fan until, we're not gonna say what he did, but I was a big Kanye West fan, and I'm not gonna lie. This track, this verse, I should say, was fire. It was really good. And forget about this guy. There are people that tell artificial intelligence, write an Eminem freestyle, right? And use his old style of rapping from the 2000s. And the AI generates it in Eminem's voice, and the freestyle actually comes out really good. Then you have, I don't know why Kanye West is so popular, but you have all these cover songs. What's My Age Again? Somebody That I Used to Know, Poker Face, and it's all Kanye singing these cover songs but Kanye's not really. There's something about Kanye's voice people are obsessed with. There's so much AI Kanye out there, and artists are getting pissed off. Like Ice Cube, of all people, Ice Cube says
Ice Cube's always pissed off.
No, right, he's always pissed off, but of all people, he's the one who says, hey, if people use my AI, I'm gonna sue. And I'm thinking, Ice Cube, with all due respect, I think you're one of the least, I don't think people are going to use you as much, but you get the point.
Kanye just has an angelic voice. And he probably is like, if he's not like, if he doesn't know what's going on, because he's so like bent on like going after his like Jewish doctors and whatever. Like I want to see the look on his face when someone shows him all these songs. He's like, I don't remember I did that.
Yeah,
or
why
like,
is this happening?
Or like he probably just realized like he could do so much more, and so hopefully he's like in a studio right now recording like a new album, because like a lot of these songs that he's on, or his fake AI voice is on, sounds better than like the original artist.
Oh yeah, like check out this one.
I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too, I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in my room, and now my bedsheets smell like you. Every day discovering.
That sounds actually pretty good, right? And Kanye West, I think he'll be forgiven eventually. I think people are just gonna forget about what he did, and they're gonna go back to listening to his music if they're not already doing so. I know Jewish people that were pissed off about what he did, and they still listen to his music. What's what's crazy is with the way he apologized without apologizing. He put an Instagram post saying that because he watched 21 Jump Street, right? He realized he was wrong because Jonah Hill's awesome, and he realized he was wrong for calling out all Jewish people for one or two bad apples. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, man. Too bad. Yeah, Jonah. Whoever thought Jonah Hill could be a peacemaker?
Yeah, Jonah Hill's
Maybe
probably
they should
shocked.
send him to the Middle East.
Yes, maybe to all the people that hate Jews, they should all watch that movie. Somebody actually wrote in the comments, "Too bad that this movie didn't come out in 1939."
The world would have been a lot different with a lot more Jews possibly. But you know what? They should send Jonah Hill to the Middle East. Put all the respective parties in a movie theater. Let's get some popcorn to watch that show, and maybe we could, settle on the movie, and then maybe we could all like agree and be friends.
Yeah, maybe. But I want to circle back to Black Mirror season 6. So the thing with Black Mirror is this. Seasons 1 through 5 were very consistent with what they were. It was all about technology and future. And even in season 3, one of the really good episodes, San Junipero, it starts out in the 1980s, and we're thinking, oh, okay, this is different, retro, right? 1980s. And then later you find out that it's not real, and they're just going into like this virtual reality world, and that they're really living in the future, right? The problem with this season of Black Mirror, season 6, it lost its edge. It lost what Black Mirror is all about. And I think they probably just ran out of things to talk about, right? Because you have the first episode. That was probably the only episode that was consistent with what Black Mirror is about, right? Then episode 2 felt more like, you said it, American Horror Story. You know what I'm saying? Episode 3 was Black Mirror-esque, but it was with Aaron Paul and Josh Hartnett in the 1960s, I believe, right? In the 1960s. Huh?
Aaron Paul?
What did I say?
No, you said Aaron Paul, but that's his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jesse from Breaking
Jesse
Bad.
Pinkman.
Jesse Pinkman. So, yeah, that was Black Mirror-esque, but it didn't even really make sense because in the 1960s, they didn't have that technology. So even when they implemented the technology part of it, they didn't do it the way they normally do it in Black Mirror, okay? And then the rest of the episodes, again, they were there was a werewolf episode, which was kind of ridiculous. And then the last episode, with the demon, that was like a fun watch, but nothing to do with Black Mirror. What they should have done is create a new series called Black Mirror Presents, whatever, horror, whatever it's called, and just make a new show. Now I think they just ruined Black Mirror. You know?
Yeah, maybe, but it is weird that the first episode was very tech-based, like futuristic tech base, but the rest of them were just regular episodes.
Yeah.
Like none of them actually had to do with technology at all.
Episode 2 freaked me out.
That was the one that was like in Scotland or something?
Yeah, it was in like Ireland or Scotland. It was very scary, very creepy. They did a great job, but the whole episode I'm waiting, okay, where's the Black Mirror part of this? And the episode's kind of slow, and then all this crazy stuff happens in the like last 15, 20 minutes of the show, of the episode. And then I feel like the werewolf one was kind of the same thing. You know, like slow, and then all this crazy stuff happens on the last minute. Nothing to do with Black Mirror.
Yeah, that one threw me off because I thought like that girl was abducted and it was some like human trafficking thing, and all of a sudden she's like a
She's just a
werewolf.
werewolf. And you know what? I remember watching it and I'm just like, get the hell out of here. Like, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, this is so weird. Like, out of nowhere, she's a werewolf. I don't know, man. Like, I'm disappointed and entertained at the same time because the show that I loved, Black Mirror, is arguably not Black Mirror anymore.
I mean, I would say they're running out of ideas, but I don't know if you could come up with that with those kind of ideas. Then how hard is it to come up with like techie ideas? You know, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just easier to talk than to do it.
I think what they should have done is just create a new show and that's it. But, you know, that's just my opinion.
But then it's gonna be like everything else.
So what? So what? Everybody copies each other. What, you think American Horror Story is original? There's always
No, but there's like Black Mirror is the only show that was very, about technology and what could go wrong with technology.
exactly, and they just ruined it. They just ruined it. But what are you gonna do? And that's it. Anything else you'd like to add?
To that or in general?
Just in general about technology and Black Mirror or whatever.
No.
All right. Until next time, man.
Peace.